Here's the barbecue pit, number 5. Got the top all cut out, and I went through these all threads because the thing when I cut it out sprung, so I had to draw it back together to make it curve back to the curve of the tank. Of course, this is a 50-gallon electric water heater, and that's a 50-gallon gas water heater, which is a little bit bigger. It's 18 inches, and this is 16 inches, and that's plenty big for a firebox. So I took me a piece of sheet metal and made a false bottom so that it would catch all the heat and not burn the bottom of the tank out when I fire it up. And crafted a handle for a latch, and this is a piece of all thread, and of course these are just pieces of steel with 2 bolts in there. And when this latch comes down here, it notches on the bolts and it pulls it nice and snug so that it's virtually draft proof. So you don't want any draft getting in there on your meat. You want it to stay a solid temperature. Put a kind of a weather stripping on here, and of course this main support I put on each side acts as a weather strip or a kind of a seat for the door. And then put some angle brackets inside that. This is metal strut. It's used in construction. And then I cut a piece of angle iron for 3 shelves. So a shelf there, there, and there. And so these shelves are be round, and the front's not supported, so the back's going to have to be fixed so that it doesn't dump your brisket out when you take the brisket out. So I took another piece of all thread with a little bracket. Now this comes, wherever you buy that strut, you can get these things, and these things actually all thread screws into them, and they're for hanging things in commercial buildings like AC and heating or pipes or whatever. And when I put that expanded metal in there, I'll scoot it in there and then clamp this bolt down on it, and it'll hold the shelf. So I've got 3 of those in there for each shelf, and when I put the shelf in, it'll stay in there and won't move. So that's what I got so far. And of course I still have to weld a lot of it, like this seam here and a few other things. I like to weld the hinges, because right now I just got the hinges screwed in with screws, and they'll eventually get loose, so I'm going to weld the hinges to it and it won't move. So it's coming along pretty good.